MACtion is back here at Kent State as the Golden Flashes return home hosting Central Michigan Chippewas in their first of 4 games in a row to be played at home. But this year, the Chippewas are not a team to overlook. They opened their season nearly upsetting current 4th-ranked Miami, and since picked up a big win against New Mexico, a high-scoring, consistent scoring game. However, you might say that they didn't play their best against the Judicials, 26-3. And through those 3 games, Marcus Beeman, the redshirt junior quarterback, has been playing a clean game of football. Nearly 1,000 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, and not a single interception. The only concern is the 50% complete. Running the ball, true junior Makari Bodiford has had a really dominant season out the gates. And while it's not coming with many touchdowns, he is averaging over 5.5 yards a carry. And defensively, they've got a big boy leading the group in DeAndre Robinson. He's currently 2nd for the Chippewas in total tackles, top on the board for TFLs, and currently leads them as well in sacks. But the most notable has been Josiah Booker, the breakout redshirt sophomore receiver. In week 0, he took home the MAC Offensive Player of the Week with 7 catches, 210 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns against the Miami Hurricanes. But most recently, it was our Golden Flashes who took home not only offensive but defensive, with Martell Buchanan having a breakout, 5 tackles, 1 sack, 2 tackles for a loss, and 2 forced fumbles, filling in for the injured Abu Hamde. We also had Tank Hawkins have his breakout performance at receiver with 4 grabs, 144 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. On top of that, he also had 10 rushing yards and another rushing touchdown. But it was the success overall of the passing game that has led to arguably the biggest reward anyone on this team could have. And that is Coach Ty breaking out the button-up and tie with the shorts as we head in to Game 4 of the season. MACtion underway. By the time we're done here tonight, it might just be under the lights as well. But we've got an evening kickoff as Hunter is set to return. Left side, he is stonewalled at about the 20-yard line, where Coach Ty and that Ty are on the sidelines sending out his offense. Now, of course, it is the offense that got a bit banged up last week. Kelsey ended up leaving that game. He is out there to start this one as it is Harris cutting left and picking up 1. Xavier White quick to fill the gap for the Chippewas. It's still with that pistol set here for this offense, rolling and throwing this one outside, finding his target who can't hold on. Do believe that was Hassman, who rotates in at some of that slot receiving spots. The 3rd and 9 carrying in motion from right, tighter right-hand side. Pressure starts to build. Flipping the hips and looking to get outside, not picking up the block from Carrion. And a 4th and 3. But backed up, it looks like Coach Ty is sending out that punt team. So hitting the field will be the Chippewas offense. The passing game has been great. It's opened up some of the running game with Bodiford as well, which is where they start as he's taken down. Looks to be Howard making the play through a pretty tight gap. And a loss of 1. As they go RPO, now trying to get Bodiford out in space. Tellender, quick pursuit with help of Gill. The Golden Flash defense quickly forcing a 3rd and 10 here. The cornerback group is a bit weak on this team, and they're facing an empty set. With a throw outside, crashing on it though is Rollison. It does keep him short, but the offense goes nowhere. 4th and 1, it's a strong eye look. Bodiford, the lone back. He's stacked up a fine space and busts it to the outside. Pursuit, safety, closing the angle, slows him down for Tellender to bring him down. That's where patience as a running back massively pays off. It looked like he was stonewalled. Bodiford, though, trying to cut back in to finish off what he started. does pick up a few. Second and goal at the 6. As they go right back to him, taken down by his own lead blocker. And it forces a third and goal. Defense changing up their look slightly here. Got a strong pistol eye. And under pressure, thrown out wide. Spin move goes nowhere. Bush dumps him. Though Fall, the transfer DT, does look to be a bit banged up for Kent State. Well, he makes his way to the sideline. Out comes a field goal unit. A rough angle here for Carpenter. And one that he cannot correct. He sends that one wide left, and Chippewas come away with absolutely nothing on a promising opening drive. For Kent State, they can take over. Starting at the 20, same spot they started their first drive. As that one's quickly flipped out to Harris. Not a whole much of a triple option there, more just 2. Of course, with all the hits he's taken early this season, you do have to wonder if that is a call coming from the sideline. Kelsey told to get that ball out a whole lot quicker than he has in the past. As this play clock is running down, they finally get motion coming from the left-hand side. That is Tank Hawkins. And eventually, timeout comes in. Not sure if there was some miscommunication out there or not. It looked like Kelsey tried to get the motion earlier, but Hawkins couldn't hear him. Spread out wide. Second and 3, now just 2 timeouts. It's Harris down the middle. Slowed down by the safety. Help arrives for the Central Michigan defense. But Harris, he picks up another gash of a run. Martin checks in to follow as they look to set up a pass. Lofting this one into a bunch. Looked like Hawkins was coming down from his comeback route. There were 3 Kent State players, but the 2 of the Chippewas make the play. Throwing underneath here and having to sky up for it is Taylor. He's picked up a lot more targets of late. Coach talking about potential changes being made to the starting tight end. Well, his workload definitely increasing. As they try to go to Hopperton, it falls. And after second guessing and punting last time, this time no second guessing. Offense stays on the field. 4th and 5 with a hard count there from Kelsey. No one offers. Throws though underneath and broken up to Carrion. He's supposed to be their big body man, the possession catch guy on this team. And no one is living up to that expectation this year. A lot of drop passes, but Thompson on the outside shuts it down. Another TFL here for this defense, and for the transfer edge, he's done a much better job of late. Unfortunately, Fall trying to battle through that earlier injury still appears to be nagging at him. So again, he'll make his way to the sideline. Meredith will step in his place, number 96. A little bit of a power rusher. Though no one gets much rush on this one, Rollison back deep and swats that one away. Defense for Kent State standing tall against the Central Michigan offense that rivaled that of Miami. Their offense is still yet to do much of anything in this one. As they get motion, that's Hawkins over to the right-hand side. Handing this one off Harris, trying to get his speed to the outside. Good flow from 2. That forces Harris through the blue tent and out of bounds with a gain of 8. He stays back there, though, as Gaines checks into the game. He's going to motion over as they do look to get back to Harris. Fortunately for him, the entire interior of the offensive line forgot to block on that play. They lose 3, and they do get the hard count this time. Throwing quickly out to the flat, but airmailing Hopperton. Good news is they'll have another chance with a 3rd and 1. Chippewas' leading guy for the defense this year, and Robinson is the giftee. As we have that 3rd and 1 here. Keeping it and stuffed down the middle. Robinson responds. That was one of the few read options we've actually seen this year. But again, Coach Ty, he keeps his offense out there despite being inside their own 30. Nearly getting someone to jump. Throwing against the grain here, but this time, that's Trevor Rogers to midfield. He was one of the few receivers to return from last season. And he gets a big conversion as we hit the end of the first quarter. This game still tied up at 0 apiece. It's been all defense so far. Before Kent State taking over a yard shy of midfield and a fresh set of downs, you got to hope that now you could get things rolling. As Kelsey keeps, flips late. He's got Harris on the outside, gets the juke, and he's inside the 35. Already over 40 yards rushing for him today. The first and 10, they go back to him as he tries to find his own patient run. All in all, looking at a gain of 5 there for Harris as he actually exits the field of play here. 2 spread either side, including the tight end. To get that one out to Trevor Rogers, almost just a pure handoff in the backfield. Though Jackson Dunn, starting guard, injured on the play. Interior for both lines struggling. Of course, for Fall on the other side, he's already had to exit the game a couple times. 3rd and 2 here, and you got a weak eye. Bailey going to motion over to the left-hand side. They flip it out his way. Fullback in space. Takes on, but coughs up that ball. And it is recovered by the Chippewas. He tried to spin and stretch that ball forward, but it looked like he stretched it straight into a Chippewa helmet. And that ball popped free. It will indeed be a turnover for Kent State. Jason McBurrows credited with forcing that fumble. Now both teams have had a positive drive that ends up with no points. And it's going to be Chippewas here looking to get outside. Gill taken down, getting to the second level. 1 to try to contain Bodiford. Rollison slows him down for help in Stockstill. And for Bodiford, who came in averaging 5.6 yards a carry, that number's just increasing with 2 big runs on the day. As they try to go to running back 2 here, hopping over the down defender, trying to seal the edge. Diggs with 12. Fortunately for the Chippewas, it was 12 of Kent State who brought him down, cutting that run a little short. Quarterback keeper here, taken down with a big hit. Gill, he's been listed as free safety. He has shown plenty of power. As cutting back here, they're trying to get their receiver going some way. At least in the game so far, Booker has been held quiet. 3rd and 7, another 3rd and medium long here. As they go back to the running back, and it's swallowed up immediately. Howard got there first, needed help, but the tackle comes in. They lose 3. And Carpenter's already missed 1 field goal today. And he doinks and in. Barely. The field goal will count here for the Chippewas. A little smirk on his face as he knows that comes with some massive luck. Just finding a good enough angle. Right now the pressure is on Kent State and their offense. They have struggled to put just consistency out on that field. Trevor Rogers with another catch. It's RPO his way. We have not seen him get that involved. Just a couple targets this season. Though sticking with the hurry up here, Kelsey keeps it and will have just enough there on the speed option. Not much of an option with the edge rush going immediately towards Martin, who is in at running back here. Going to spread out to the right-hand side. Rolling out that way. Kelsey looking a bit slow as he gets rid of it, taking the hit. Of course, we talked at the opening of this game. He did have to exit last week with an injury. I'm sure there might still be some nagging issues. But outside is Taylor. He's turning up. He's got near a gain of 20. Tight end 2 showing up big here for Kent State over the last couple games. And if he isn't careful, he might find himself taking those tight end 1 snaps rather soon. Just about 4 minutes to go here in the first half. It's Harris with a couple. But Kent State is on positive side of the field here with a bunch to the left-hand side. As they do look to throw the ball here, or in fact, stepping up is Kelsey. He finds space, weaving back outside, and cannot beat the safety. But it is a big run for quarterback 1 here, the redshirt freshman transfer quarterback. He's having to fill in for Drew DeShields, who decided to move on to Wisconsin. He's a little bit lower on their depth chart. Harris back with a handoff here and ripped down from behind. He's always been good for a couple short runs, a couple big runs mixed in throughout these games. As we're inside 2.5 minutes to play here, blitz is brought and whipping that one towards the sideline. Kelsey wanted nothing to do with the pressure, but every time he has thrown the ball away, he's still taking the hits. He's just trying to avoid too many lost yardage. As this one's thrown outside, it's a screen for Harris. He's got the first down and more. And that'll take us through the 2-minute warning. A much-needed breather here for the Kent State offense as they hit the field here at the 12. They look to set up a screen now. To Hawkins. He's got speed, but not enough to beat the one defender still in his way. Timeout comes in from the Chippewas. 1:49 to go here. We are down inside the 10. Harris here on the keeper. He looks to go outside. 2 with a bad angle, and Harris takes it to the end zone. Kent State finally cracks that scoreboard here inside 2 minutes to go. In the first half, they take the lead, 7-3. And for Aiden Harris, it's a well-deserved rushing touchdown. As we still have 1:45 on the clock and 2 timeouts for the Chippewas. We're not done with this first half yet. Botiford, he's got a couple. He's been excellent today. A lot of big runs, a lot of broken tackles as well. Hard to bring down on first contact. Throw is short for the tight end and broken up Tellender. We really need him to have a great rest of the season. Quarterback keeper here, Beeman, and going nowhere. Tellender and company. Now a timeout coming in here from Coach Ty. With the quick 3 and out, it leaves time here to try to widen that lead. With 1:13, the offense hits the field. As they look to start with Harris, it's out on the screen, and he's got an angle for the sideline, ducking out after 12. But of course, with just the one timeout in the back pocket here, you do have to be smart with the play calls, and already getting out of bounds early is a great way of starting this drive. As that one is flown to Hawkins, who holds on. He has struggled massively in the opening couple games this year of holding on to some of these passes. That is great to see. It's not great to see the weak blocking. DeAndre Robinson quickly through the line. He picks up yet another TFL for him on the season, already leading the Chippewas. Has a check down to the right-hand side, but overthrows Harris. That's just how quickly these drives can flip on their head. It looked in favor of Kent State. Now they have a 3rd and 14, just shy of midfield. No one exactly open. Trying to buy some time here. Throws that one for an interception. He had Carrion on the outside who ran inside. Perhaps if he and the quarterback planned to just drift back a little bit into the open space, you've got a first down, maybe even more. Instead, Chippewas with 2 timeouts have 23 seconds to try to get a field goal off of that. They got lucky on one attempt today, ricocheting in. And across the middle, ripped away Howard. That is what we need to see from the covermen. DBs, linebackers, honestly, even some edge rushers sometimes included. We need more broken up passes. As they try the same play, this time they almost get the better result. Howard, though, lays out and he breaks up another. And that forces 3rd and 10. Defense shaking up their look here. Looks like man coverage, thrown left side, caught. After 2 broken up, Chippewas get their 1 for the first down with 10 seconds to go, though. They might have to look for something perhaps a little bit deeper with that overthrow. Now they need even deeper than that. Hail Mary attempt by the look of it. Defense back in prevent. They send 3 to the outside here. Chucking that one deep into quadruple coverage and swatted away. Defense yet again comes through for a turnover on the offensive side. And we hold on to that 7-3 lead. It has been the defense leading the way. The player spotlight is on Aiden Harris. He has been the offense for the Golden Flashes here today, averaging 5.7. You could even say on the opposite side as well, Botiford has been the offense for Central Michigan. But with them down and us playing at home, of course, we're going to favor our own home player. Aiden Harris having a great game. We need more of him, and we need this defense to continue shutting down the Chippewa offense. As we get the second half underway, it will be a long field for the Chippewa offense, starting at the 14. As they go with a little bit of some play action, it opens down the middle, a clutch tackle. Botiford nearly had the entire central of the field. Harris comes in and forces a 2nd and 1. As they might look to go back to 21 here, he ricochets, spinning off, but help arrives. That is Martell Buchanan, your MAC Defensive Player of the Week winner last week. The 3rd and 4, Townsend has enough. Chippewas, they needed 3, they got 5 on the handoff, and it's 1st and 10 now at the 26. Still a long field in front here for the defense to try to pick up yet another stop. As it's the quarterback keeper here, Thompson through a double team. He still does enough, perhaps with a little bit of help with gravity, to bring down Beeman. 2nd and 10, no gain. As it is a keeper this time again. Beeman, Cordoba though, he dumps him. He tried the spin move. That time to no avail. 3rd and a short one. Goal line v. goal line as Gill walks down and crunches him in the backfield. Colin Gill yet again knew exactly what they planned to do. And he shows up with that shoulder. Now we just need the offense to do something off of that here, opening up the second half with their own possession. As we're just inside 6 minutes, Hawkins motions all the way over to the right-hand side. They go play action here out the gate. Rolling and just keeping it will be Kelsey, dipping out with a first down. It'll be about a gain of 11 for him and a 1st and 10 as they come out with all the running backs in the backfield. Motioning around, that's going to be Gaines. Keeping, flipping, and Martin puts on the shimmy, but he loses one. For what I'm pretty sure is the first time Kent State ran that play this year, it looked like they knew exactly what was coming their way. The 2nd and 11. Flipping that one out, though, Gaines is dumped. And this drive is not going how you would want for Kent State. They've lost 5 yards. And every play has looked like the opposite side knew exactly what they were doing. Pressure building around here. Kelsey rips this one downfield. Hawkins in the area. Mosses 2 DBs. That is an absolute Hail Mary of a throw. And all I can think of right now for Hawkins, who has struggled to catch just a simple pass this year, is he's really got to love Coach Ty in that tie. It's Gaines here on the running back to running back handoff. For one of his few carries this year, he's got 5. For the 2nd and 5, it's a heavy set here for Kent State. As Harris looks for that cutback lane, he might have a couple more. You're down inside your own 15, and you've got a 3rd and 3. Though the defense looks to be begging for a perhaps run down the middle here, as there is next to no one down the middle. And they will hand it off. Harris, he will take that bet all day, down to the 3. It puts them just a smidgen closer here to extending that lead. With motion in, they're looking for the end around Tank Hawkins. He has speed, but that speed is only enough to get back to the 3. They might need a little bit more blocking there on the outside. 2nd and goal. Gaines and Harris just behind the line. The fullback standing behind. Kelsey, he will take it himself. Linebacker sat there flat-footed, and Kelsey's got a good enough amount of speed, good amount of acceleration to send Kent State on top here. 2 scores, 14-3. And that concludes a 9-play, near 70-yard drive. Taking about 4.5 minutes off the clock. With a minute 22, the Chippewas hit the field offensively. They need a touchdown drive here. And the spin works out for a moment. But Bush and Cordoba get there quickly to help out. And it'll be a loss of 2, play 1 for Central Michigan. As they look to set up some underneath passing. Dropped. Stockstill, while behind there on the receiver, plays it perfectly. And it's 3rd and 12 with a double A gap look here for the Flash defense, though they drop back into coverage. It's 3 stops over on the left side, and Booker only has a few. With Kent State's defense picking up yet another stop, it's over to their offense. Though they've got to snap that ball, and they take up too much time to even snap it for the first play of the drive. That is purely on the quarterback. He has got to get them set and ready earlier. That's twice so far today they've ran into that issue. Bailey motioning out here as they set up the RPO. It's out to the fullback with a good block on the edge. Bailey this time, he holds on. Well, he gains 2. He sends us to the break. 14-3, Kent State in charge here in Kent, Ohio, in a MAC battle with a surprise slow offense coming from Central Michigan. They've done great every game besides this one. We'll see if they can turn things on, as we've turned on the lights here in Kent, Ohio, and perhaps we might need to turn them down. This is a little bit too much playing under the lights. We might be frying out here as we pick up about a gain of 3. 3rd and 5, and perhaps the light slightly adjusting here, but the whole right side of the field definitely could see some further adjusting. Across the middle, drop by Carrion. Perhaps Coach Ty might need to consider rotating some more receivers out there with all these drops. The offense stays on the field. 4th down, they've got it again. That's Trevor Rogers trying to carry himself down the field. He's finally tracked down just shy of the 10. That gives him 67 yards on 4 catches. Kelsey just shy of a $175 through the air today. Of course, he has a rushing touchdown. They're in range of his legs here. With a throw high for Hopperton, who can't bring it down. Good to see Coach Ty still trying to get his tight end involved there, but he has very much struggled to catch any pass that has been sent his way, and Harris can't break the one-on-one. Instead, A.J. Hayer picks up the TFL, and you're back to the 16. First down is the 2-yard line. You got 2 receivers in left-hand side. Hawkins over to the right-hand side. They snap that ball looking to pass here across the middle. Harrion holds on with a 4th and 4. This close, Coach keeps them out there. With a bunch to the right-hand side, Hawkins now to the left. Kelsey tries that hard count, no one jumps. They will have to throw here. Getting rid of it, and Hawkins just crosses the goal line. It will be a 4th down touchdown, Kent State. And they have just as many touchdowns on the board as Central Michigan has found points, 21-3. And I'm not sure if Central Michigan is still tired from that Miami game, or perhaps the Judicials just put a good beatdown on them despite losing that game. But they have not looked the same out here today as Williams picks up a couple on the RPO. For Kent State, at least when you look on paper, the DB group is a weak group outside of safety. The corners very much are a work in progress with this team. But you don't need them when you're getting swats at the line. And once again, it is Buchanan. He's very much making a name for himself on this roster with his little amount of play time, being that 3rd linebacker on the field. Looking deep downfield, it's Rollison, nearly with the pick. That would have been Beeman's first on the season. Instead, it's 4th and 7, offense on the field here, trailing 2 touchdowns. Throwing this one outside, and this time we get it. It's Stockstill, and he's got a lane down the right sideline. 10, 5, pick 6, Kent State. How about that for your first interception on the season? It goes for 6 the opposite way, and it's 28-3 up here in Ohio. We'll have to double check the stats come the end of this one, but I believe that's also the first interception of the year. As it is Chippewa ball here, looking downfield, but Howard patrolling center field. He says, get that out of here. The 2nd and 10. This time they look to hand the ball off and clotheslined. It's Bush. Right now, Kent State playing hot. The only team to really not show up is the pass rush team. The 3rd and 12 right now is a great opportunity, but they flip it out quickly. Upending their tight end, it's Harris. Well, it does get them close enough to keep that offense on the field, though they might have anyway. 4th and 4. Throwing right side, back to the tight end. This time he gets the better of the coverage. The Chippewa offense will not have to exit the field of play here yet. Up to the 43 now. With a split backfield, and they flip it outside. Rollison slows for help to arrive as Elijah Fall is back on a knee here. This is the 3rd time today he has had to leave the field. Probably at this point, best for him to stay off the field. 2nd and 8. As they hand it off to Diggs, Tellender slows him down long enough for his help to arrive in Howard. Been a little bit slow for him out the gate so far this year as well, but today has been by far his best showing. 3rd and 9. As they look to set up a screen the opposite way, Gill looked to be the only one left. Bodiford, with one coming in, dives and will have the end zone. Central Michigan with a clean design of a backside screen. Leaks out with no one left, and Bodiford gets them at least double digits on the board. With a failed onside to follow, Kent State takes over about midfield with 3:14 to waste on the clock. And it's Bailey down the middle. He finds some space. Not too sure Coach Ty gonna agree with just a gain of 3 on that. Looked to be 4-5, but 2nd and 7 it is with that play clock running down inside 5. Harris spinning forward. Apparently that run had just as much as the run prior to, as we head through the 2-minute break. The 3rd and 2, I form here. They hand it off, and it is stuffed. 32. Kenan Lofton shot through to break it up, but surprisingly up here, 18 points. The offense stays on the field. They want to put this game away, and with a second early jump here for the Chippewas, they just made it even harder for themselves. That is now a free conversion on 4th down and a 1st and 10 at the 42. Again, it's going to be triple option, flipping it out. It's going to be Harris, who will have the 1st down. He's done just a terrific job this year of picking up a bunch of yardage. He's going to be over on the right wing as they snap that ball with just a little bit of time and flip this one back to Bailey, who's not going to get very far. But as he has taken a smaller role this year in the offense, I do like the coaches keeping him involved when possible. Martin here, he gets a quick flip on the outside. Hasn't seen much success, but that was a great back juke. But that will be where this one comes to a close. Undefeated is Coach Ty while wearing his tie. And your player of the game goes to Kelsey, but honestly, this was a team win. Both the passing game, running game, whether traditional or option, even getting the receivers a couple carries as well. Everyone pitched in, but the true side that was the separator in this one was the defense for Kent State. They shut down the Chippewas. And indeed, for Angelo Stockstill, that was the one and only interception we've had on the year. However, that was not the first turnover we've had this year. Obviously, we talked a bit about Buchanan in this one. He forced 2 fumbles last week, of which we did recover 1. And while it was a great win for us, well, on our side, 28-10, we did not have 250 passing yards. On top of that, we also did not have 2 passing touchdowns. So for the meantime, Coach Ty is back to his normal outfit. But if the team shows up against Miami of Ohio, puts up the 250 passing and has 3 passing touchdowns, well, we just might see another wacky outfit. Now, the defense does have the advantage on paper. They've been playing far better than a 66 of late. However, the offense of Miami of Ohio does have the slight edge. So we'll see how the two compare next time. For recruiting, it's a pretty big game because we have Ari Kukas coming on a visit, and he has another one scheduled shortly after with Buffalo. So if we can get him to commit in this next game, that would be huge for us. And to help us do that, we need the defensive line to show up and put forth a great game. I would love to see listed here what we could do to just improve that visit, but sacks, TFLs, less rushing yards, less passing yards, all of that would very much help us out. Turnovers as well. And outside of just Kukas, it would also help us get back into the race here with 2 guys who we were leading on. But in the last game and a half, we haven't seen much in terms of pass rush. So the playing style here for both DT as well as edge rush necessarily is not being met. So we definitely need to see some improvement there. And why don't you look to stick around if you have not already? Hit the bear icon in the bottom right or scroll down, hit the sub button and tap that bell icon. Notified when all these videos go live. And speaking of all these videos, we are going to give 1 more week to baseball here on the channel. It has been dipping in views, so if you guys have enjoyed the baseball series and want to see the Twins franchise continue, make sure, as mentioned, you hit that bell icon so you're notified and you watch that baseball series as soon as you can. leave it a thumbs up as well as all these videos, because it very much lets me know and lets YouTube know that the videos are being enjoyed. Because if not, then we will pause baseball for now and we might just see a little bit more here of Coach Ty on Wednesdays. But as for this week, it will just be Monday, today, and Friday. We have Tuesday and Thursday with the Giants. Baseball will be on Wednesday for at least one more week. Again, let me know what you think. You could also let me know in the comments below. Should we go back to all football? Give a pause and maybe come back with something else at a later point, maybe around the World Series time. That might be a good time to bring baseball back. Again, I want your opinion. Coach Ty wants your opinion as well as to how this team did and what more you expect for them as this season moves along. But until then, we'll see you guys next time as we've got Miami of Ohio.